Okay, so I'm just making a quick video just to kind of give me an idea what it's like to drive on the island. Uh, I hope this is okay. It should be about 10 minutes or so from here to school. Right now we're at the house. You're going to hear a beeping sound, which is just my car going in reverse. But here we go. So I'm going to flip it around so you don't have to stare at me the entire time. So, yeah, parking here is not too bad. I mean, it's a gated house. I'm sure Karen shared with you that video. Um, Let me just open the gate. Should do that first. But um, sorry, this is going to be some hurry up and waits, but such is life. There we go. So this is the main road. In St. Vincent's really has this one main highway. There's some off roads and whatnot, but this is like the biggest 2-lane road they have on the island, and it basically stretches along the coast. I'm just gonna wait for this semi truck to come. Um, So you can't really see off to the right, but there's a kind of a nice turn, kind of a blind turn in a sense. So we just kind of turn onto the main road and off we go. Um, we're in a little village. I'm sure you've seen it on the map. It's called Diamond. Um, St. Vincent's is kind of all meshed up with different little villages, all part of Kingstown, which is the main downtown, which is about, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes away. It's a good distance. It's a decent drive. Um, and we're going, everything's in kilometers right now, about 30 kilometers an hour. So I don't know, about 20. Uh, haven't done the conversion there. You'll see a lot of RAV4s. I'm gonna try to adjust this so you can actually see in front of my car. Um, there is like that Noah van. It does look like a decent sized van. And off to the right, you'll see a van pulled off to the side. That's what they call H vans. The license plate starts with H. I think that's why they call it an H van. But those are basically these little mini buses that drive around and pick people up off the side of the road. You pay 102 EC, and then you can get to wherever you need to go. So it's 102 EC depending on how far you need to go. My understanding is that you stand by the side of the road, you wave your hand out, they pull off to the side, pick you up. Um, and then they just keep cruising along. And then when you get too close to where you need to get to, you just shout or give somebody a hand signal and hop on off, and there you go. I haven't ever done it myself, so that's just hearing from experience. Um, I personally really enjoy having a car and not having to do that. I understand that they can get quite crowded. This is a little tiny supermarket here called Randy's. Um, we passed Diamond Supermarket and I didn't even say anything, so I apologize. Um, anyway, so the mini buses, they can get like 15 or so people in there. They just kind of pack them in, so they can get quite crowded. Currently, because of the COVID stuff, they're not supposed to be doing that. And every now and then you'll see some kind of police checkpoints that they pull off of an H van and check on them, make sure that they're not packing in too much, because there was some sort of deal with the government that they were going to get subsidized as long as they didn't pack in people. So they're just making sure that they're upholding their end of the bargain. So off to the left, you really can't. It's hard to see that. See that little blue building? That's Thomas's building. So Thomas is a gentleman who lives on the island, fairly wealthy, and kind of right behind his building is a decent sized apartment complex. That's Thomas Apartments. So we're about 4 minutes in, and we just passed Thomas. So that's where some of the students live out in Thomas. Um, I've heard mixed reviews. I don't want to. I haven't been in there really myself, besides to pick up people and drop them off. So I really couldn't tell you much about it. I just heard rumors here and there, and who knows. So we passed Thomas. Now we're kind of heading towards Backway. And so again, this is kind of the typical flow. I'm not sure if you caught it when we turned that corner, but I don't know, 3 cars up, an H van just stopped and is letting people off. So we all stop. And off to the right here, you see it's one of the school buses. So they're going off of Thomas right now. And it's about 8:30. So I think they make a run every hour or so, maybe every half an hour. So that one's going to Thomas. You should be there in about 3 minutes or so. And so right up here, where this car is turning off, you see this is Brighton. This is what they call Brighton Gap. Every time you kind of have this one area meets the main road, we call it a gap. Um, and Brighton Gap, you can kind of go down that way, just maybe, I don't know, a couple 100 yards, and you take another turn, you get to Marmaras. So we've already passed Marmaras and Thomas, and we're still kind of heading towards Trinity today. I have a quiz at 1, so I'm gonna get there, do a couple hours of lecture for pathology, and then eat lunch and take my quiz. Hopefully that goes okay. But I mean, you can kind of appreciate some of the views as we're going along here. And if I could tell you what you're seeing, I think to the south you might have seen Beckway, an island just immediately to the south. It's a pretty popular touristy spot. People love, a lot of students love going out there. It's more of the tourist island. So St. Vincent's is not much of a tourist island, as you can kind of tell. The road is like this. It's not a lot of um, shoulder. Um, the houses are just right there, and I mean, people are here to work and live, and this is just an island where people do all that, and not really. Um, there are things you can do on the island for fun, of course, but this isn't like you fly into St. Vincent's and you have a stingrays that you can go swim with, or dolphins, or anything like that. This is not as much of a tourist island as Beckway is. And Beckway is part of St. Vincent's and the Grenadines, and yeah, so people go there, they have a good time. We're going to go there for the first time, I think, on this break in August. So we're really looking forward to that. A lot of people hyped it up, so hoping it lives up to expectations. And then, of course, with the COVID, the COVID issue, where people aren't traveling, thankfully the rates are pretty low. So looking forward to that. So you see another H fan. They like to little decorate them in all sorts of crazy ways. Um, this right up here in front of us is Caliandres. We're going to turn. So, but Caliandres is another. It used to be a housing complex. Oh, there we go. That some students lived in, and then they lost the contract. But there's a restaurant on top of it that I've heard good things about as well. I don't know if you heard while I was talking there, but when I made my turn, you heard a horn honk, and then the oncoming traffic just stopped. That's something they do here. Like they see that you want to turn into a different road. Sometimes the oncoming traffic will just stop, let you turn, and then keep going. It's not a big deal. So whereas I think in America, sometimes we're just like, well, I'll go, and then when you find an opening turn, you can turn. Um, so here, that happens, but also sometimes people just stop and just let you go. And then sometimes people will pass you. So a lot of it is just driving here is just learning to, kind of roll with it. Like someone wants to go fast and pass you, let them, whatever, they can do it. No harm on you really, as long as you're not the one about to get ran off the road or anything like that. That's the security gate to Trinity. So now we're on campus. They have a little security gate. I have an ID badge on my mirror. And I think by now they know my car, so I don't think I even have to shine the badge anymore. But let me just pause here. So right ahead is a new building. I believe that they are building for Trinity. There's the basketball courts down there. Right next to the basketball courts is kind of a gym. It is now closed in, like it's actually walled off and whatnot. So it's actually AC'd. It used to be an open gym. Um, so it got a little bit muggy and warm, but now it's got some AC. So if you're into working out and whatnot, that's what you got. Um, so I'm gonna take you off my mount here so I can walk around. So I mean about 9 minutes we're on campus. Sometimes it takes longer, sometimes it's shorter. It actually wasn't. This isn't a bad day. But I park in the back of the building, so there's a top part of the campus, and then there's here. So that's the gym, basketball courts, the volleyball court. There's some fruit trees, some mango, Phoenicians, I think. And then occasionally you'll get some avocado. It's like a Florida avocado. So this is what they call Hippos. Hippos is a cafeteria run by a company, and so if you need food, you can get food here. It's not 24/7 or anything like that, but um, this in front of us is the main admin building. So that's where all the most of the admin lives, and not lives, but they have offices. Some professors have offices in this building. I think there's like Rothel Hill 1 or something like that. And then that's Rothel Mill apartment number 2, I believe. So some students live in that building. This is the back side of it, a little gazebo, decent view. So this back area is more or less where I live now that we don't have lectures. Um, this is the computer lab. So I'm going to go up a little bit and just kind of show you a little bit higher up. So kind of up in front of us, that's more like facilities. We have the two big buses there. So when you go on rotations and big grocery runs or runs to the Kingstown, that's what you're going to see. That building is the student lounge. So student lounge there's a big TV there, there's a study room in the back. So it's kind of if you prefer to study and you don't mind having some interruptions, that's a good place to be. So I'm walking back down. This is, I'll go into this in a minute. This is this whole back area is the library. So it's a pretty, library is kind of, I think it has 3 kind of levels of studying. So library is like absolute quiet. Don't eat or drink in there. Don't really try to avoid making noises. They will shush you. And then there's the computer lab, which is kind of where I live. It's kind of the intermediate between the library and the student lounge. You're not going to get interrupted all that much. Let me pause and just point out. This is the lecture halls. If you're an MD program, you're in the top bits. So that's the double doors on top of the stairs. That's C101. That's for the larger class. That's a bigger auditorium. There's essentially that window over there. I think that's C102. And then way up at top is double doors. That's a C104. I don't know. And then there's C103 in the back far corner. There's bathrooms, and then right below it is an anatomy lab. I want to just be honest, like the anatomy lab isn't spectacular. I mean, there used to be a cadaver there. They don't have a cadaver anymore, and so they kind of make it what you will out of it. So it can be good, it can be bad. Yeah, my experience wasn't particularly great, but we do learn anatomy. We just don't really learn it on a cadaver. So anyway, so this is again the library. I'm going to go to the computer lab, and then I'll sign off. And hopefully, if you have any questions, let me know. Sometimes I get so used to seeing things I don't really note it, and so it's okay to ask questions if you don't understand what's going on. Worth noting that the computer lab is semi-quiet. You can eat here, but there's obviously just 2 computers, but just study space basically. Anyway, have any questions, let me know.